up? It's your girl, Sasha Banks, the legit boss. You are watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And, of course, taped live the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. We're going to be live this Sunday for our NXT TakeOver live reactions on the YouTube at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. And then we'll be heading over here to the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson for
we got
our recap.
A busy 3 weeks ahead of us in terms of
shows. We'll see about Triple Mania. That really bummed me the hell out. That bummed me the hell out.
Don't let a couple small details sour you on the experience.
Co-stream is a huge detail. Co-stream is a huge detail.
Hey man, the one year we didn't even co-stream. We just watched it. It was still a delight. So
yeah, when I was able to watch
the brakes on that, man.
We didn't watch it live reactions.
No, we just watched it ourselves, and it was like, wow, this is so incredible.
No, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I want to co-stream that. I'm gonna make it happen. All
right, well,
we'll set up like a fake
ahead.
channel. Tell everybody to go there. No, I wouldn't do that. Right. That's too much work. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that, and then maybe we'll see about Triple Mania the next week.
Survivor Series TLC the week after that.
TLC the week after that. Yeah, maybe.
Oh, what about Winter Wonder Slam? Are we still gonna do reactions to that on Wednesday?
Yeah, we'll see. We got a lot of reactions going on. We'll see. Mm-hmm. I'll think about it. So tonight we had a Monday Night Raw. Thought it was pretty decent. A lot of good wrestling, and we got ourselves a new number one contender. I do appreciate the number one. You're absolutely right. I felt like this is pretty much going to be a lock too, but you were all in on 1,000% AJ Styles winning that match tonight.
Yeah, man, totally.
To become new number one contender made all the sense in the world. I kind of really appreciate how they, in sort of a short amount of time, but sort of built to it as well, has developed a very dynamic title scene now where you got Drew, you don't know what Sheamus is doing. Now you got new number one contender AJ Styles, and you still have the Miz.
Miz and Morrison.
Now, the only thing I didn't think of when Miz got this briefcase, your big thing was, well, they book him too hapless. And I thought that could be easily remedied. I didn't realize that they were going to go in the exact opposite direction of that and make him even more hapless, which is what we saw tonight.
Yeah, they were getting worked. Miz and Morrison were getting worked by Drew and Sheamus until AJ Styles got involved, man. Worked.
Yeah, and then when Miz, I guess our thumbnail's probably going to be, the new number one contender AJ Styles. That's fine. AJ earlier in the night, or just before the main event, had agreed to help Miz cash in, and when he tries to do that, Miz.
Well, you're forgetting a very important reason, which is why
Miz is way easier to beat. AJ
wanted Miz to cash in because it would be easier to beat Miz for the title at TLC.
Right.
Which, yes,
makes
of
perfect
course
sense.
Will be. They're booking Miz and Morrison as clowns. Drew is basically unstoppable.
Yeah, he is. Well, he is, but beyond that, Miz and Morrison are being... But, that's my one complaint about this that's happening right now, is that could you imagine the tension that could be unfolding if Miz and Morrison were not so hapless? If you had somebody of the caliber of like a Sheamus, the way they book him, because they book him pretty strong. Mm-hmm. If you had like a Sheamus who had that briefcase, how
or
much
AJ
more...
Styles who had that briefcase.
Or an AJ Styles, or even if they didn't book Miz like such a hapless fool. Like the team of Miz and Morrison could be really great. They really could be, but my God, they are clowns.
It's like they could barely wrestle.
And it's like, Morrison understood tonight what AJ was doing, and Miz just kept, hey, we got a DQ. He's whining about a meaningless match when clearly he has an opportunity to cash in, and AJ has to explain it to him. And then when AJ's trying to help facilitate things, Miz gets mad at AJ for talking to a ref. It's to me, I'm totally fine with the creative decision, because I do like that every villain has to have his Achilles heel, and with Miz. He's got a lot of them.
He's had several of them, yes.
He's got multiple Achilles heel. Anyways, so yeah, I don't know. I thought Raw was pretty fun. What do you think of Raw tonight?
Other than it's the same complaint. It's too long.
Yeah.
It'd make a really good 2-hour show, but at 3 hours, it's just too long. It's too long. It's too long.
Otherwise.
It's too long.
Otherwise. What'd you think?
It was fine. There was some good stuff. I liked the Orton thinking that to kick off the show, that since he found Bray's weakness once, he could find it again, and it's obvious, seemingly, that he's getting played by Alexa and Bray.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and hop into this. Like you said,
Sure.
Thing is kicked off with a moment of bliss with special guest star Randy Orton. He seems to like being on Moment of Bliss. He seems to like being on Moment of Bliss. Moment of Bliss.
It's like an episode of was it Heart to Heart, that '80s show?
Yeah. Well, everybody back then had special guests.
Yeah, exactly.
Murder She Wrote had a special guest every week.
Yeah, totally.
Heart to Heart. That's a random one. Anyways, Moment of Bliss. She has kind of a new setup now. She has 2 yellow chairs. There's a caged doll in the middle. And she's in her full-on Firefly Funhouse Alexa gimmick. Bliss sort of starts off. I mean, the main brunt here is, the main point of this is Randy says, I go back a long way with Bray. I know Bray. Back when I first faced off with Bray, I had to make a decision. I had to figure out what his weakness was. And burning down his house, that was his weakness. So I got him. Boom. And now, the voices in my head, they're telling me what this other weakness is, and it's clear I know what it is. I paraphrased quite a bit there, and he's looking at Alexa. So Alexa says,
she steps to him. She just steps right up to him.
It's great. She says, "Is that what the voices in your head are telling you, Randy, or are they telling you lies? Who's manipulating whom?" And one block of lights go down, like the Fiend's on his way. And Randy says, "See what I mean?" Thinking that he's basically baiting the Fiend into a trap here. And then more go out, and Alexa deepens her voice and says, "See what I mean?" And
See
then
what I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And then the red lights come, the Fiend, all the lights go down, red light comes back up, Fiend's there, and Randy has Alexa in his arms. Like, "Hey, I've got your precious right now. I can do what I want." So the Fiend feigns being freaked out. Well, I think he feigns it. He acts freaked out, holds his hands out, and Randy gives Alexa over and then bolts. He goes back up the stage and said, "Who's laughing now? Who's laughing now?" Thought it was a really effective segment.
It was. Yeah, Randy's totally getting played here. Totally.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. It is interesting, though, that rumor a couple weeks ago about how Bray and Alexa, in this case, by WWE backstage standards, if rumors are to be believed, on their little sheet that says who's good guy, who's bad guy, they're considered good guy. Do you still consider Randy Orton, if we're gonna claim good guy, bad guy, is Randy Orton still a bad guy here? Hard to say that, isn't it?
I mean, there's more gray area, but
for sure, yeah. And I think it's fine to keep it like that. But
definitely. But I guess leading into this, there was no questioning that Randy Orton was a heel going into this whole storyline.
Yeah.
The Fiend, who knows? Really, over the last few months. I mean, obviously, with the Nikki Cross story, Alexa has been more heel than face. But to WWE's credit, they've had no problem mixing faces and heels, as we saw with this storyline they got now with Drew and Sheamus, where Sheamus is for the most part unmistakably a heel. Drew, top face on Raw, yet they're friends tagging together tonight.
I love that dynamic. I think that's great, because you're just sitting
there
waiting.
It's going to blow up at some point.
You're just waiting for that to blow up.
It's going to blow up.
I like this a lot, and I think that it is the kind of thing where it'll be interesting to see how they play with that dynamic, because I think Bray especially, given that he does have him and Randy had that thing before. Randy probably really likes Bray. I just get the feeling that this is going to make for some really compelling stuff. I'm looking forward to
I hope so. I hope so. After that, Symphony of Destruction match, Jeff Hardy versus Elias. Pretty early on, Elias bounces Jeff Hardy off a piano that's set up ringside with, say, the Nakamura Memorial piano.
Oh, is that what it was?
Making reference to Nakamura getting... gosh, what was the move?
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to remember now.
He pretty much got slammed right in the hood of the piano.
Yeah, yeah.
Which sucked.
Yeah,
I remember watching
that.
thinking that sucked.
That's right.
Anyways, Elias removes kind of like the lid or the hood of the piano. Underneath is R-Truth.
Was it a power slam? Was it a Braun power slam?
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what it was,
yeah.
right?
Gosh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Ugh. So then everybody else that's going after the 24/7 title gives chase. Amongst them, Drew Gulak, Jeff Hardy backdrops him, Grand Metalik. Elias hits him with a clothesline, and then Elias and Hardy hit Lindsay and Drew Gulak respectively with guitars. We go to commercial, we come back. A lot of back and forth, some fun stuff with some instruments.
So
at one point, what?
I couldn't care less about this feud going into it. This match was wildly fun.
It was fun. So there's this bit where Hardy's going for a whisper in the wind, and Elias destroys guitar over his leg, I think. And so he takes this jagged shard of guitar neck and goes after Hardy to stab him with it.
Tries to stab
so he goes to stab him, and Hardy moves, and so Elias stabs, looks like a PA speaker.
Yeah.
Stabs it, and then there's a beat, and then someone's backstage starts pushing the buttons, and Elias is acting like he's getting electrocuted. There's sparks flying out of it.
There's like sparks flying out, even though, like, I don't know how much of a guitar is made of anything conductive, but...
Well, I mean, the neck is just wood.
Yeah, right.
Well, there's what's called the truss rod that runs through the middle of the guitar neck that's made of metal.
Okay, well, there you go.
It affects the bow of the guitar neck.
Okay.
That being said, this was all gimmicked.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I loved it. I loved it so much. He tries to stab a guy, and then instead he does it, and then he walks away like this.
I know. And then Jeff Hardy picks up the huge stand-up bass.
Yeah.
Hits Elias with it, and then there's a table set up ringside, so he puts Elias on there, puts a bunch of violins, some ukuleles, goes up top. Granted, keep in mind, the ring steps are right next to this table.
Yeah.
It's in the corner with the ring steps.
It was like the worst place to do this.
Yeah. So Hardy goes up top, hits a swanton, and when you watch it real time the first time, you're like, oh, God, he hit his head on the ring steps. Covers Elias, gets the win. He starts playing the tambourine afterwards, so obviously he's fine. You watch the replay again, and he's pretty much all the way through the table, and, he's tucking his chin all the way down. His head hits the ring steps, but it could have been a lot worse. That spot in TNA when he basically fell off the cage right into the back of his head was way worse.
90% of the impact there was absorbed. Absorbed, but still, that last 10% looked ugly. It looked so ugly, and that ref was on him.
It was like the base of his skull right here.
Oh, it sucked. It
looked bad. It could have been a lot worse.
It's insane just how this guy lives his life. Just on the razor's edge, man. It's absolutely crazy. Anyways, I thought that match was a ton of fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Elias, so great with that electrocution spot. That was awesome.
So after that, we had Keith Lee backstage. Riddle walks up to him, and he was like, hey, I'm really excited about this match. I know you're nervous. I'm nervous. And he referenced throwing up his breakfast earlier in the day.
Yeah.
They got this thing where Matt Riddle just spews out a bunch of word vomit, stream of consciousness stuff. There's those reports, following his first match with Sheamus, where we're going to take a more serious tact with Matt Riddle. Hasn't really come to fruition.
No, it hasn't. I honestly always, I think I don't know. I don't even know where that came from.
I don't recall either.
I wonder if the report had more to do with, hey, Vince is actually going to start using this guy, as opposed to he's going to get a complete repackage as serious fighter. Because none of that's even close to it. But, after that Sheamus match, it's obvious that they are using him in longer matches. Mm-hmm. And so you can showcase a lot more of what he can do, because he's a top tier wrestler. He's really terrific.
Oh yeah. As an in-ring talent, he's top tier, man.
Yeah. After that, we had Mustafa Ali. They ran a video package of the Ricochet Retribution stuff. And Ali says, why can't you see everything that's happening to you has happened to every member of Retribution? SlapJack is front and center, so he's the one being fed to Ricochet, but Ricochet is actually being fed to SlapJack. SlapJack says Ali showed him the way after everyone thought he was a joke. And Ali says SlapJack is going to show you something or whatever. Afterwards, we got a cool little Ricochet promo that apparently was on his Twitter account.
Yeah, I thought that was really good, man.
I thought this was rad.
and just talking. without a script, I'm sure he's really good.
I feel like Ali had a DSLR on hand or something like that, or he sent the guy with a DSLR. Direction. That could be. He says, man, I thought I needed to save you, but I don't need to save you. I need to be better than you, and that's going to prove that you're doing this the wrong way. Mm-hmm. We got Ricochet versus SlapJack after this. Good for SlapJack. He picked up a win.
His finish looks great. It's like a snap Saito suplex.
Yeah, it's a really cool finish. So around mid-matter, towards the finish, I guess, Ali calls for Mason Dijak, T-Bar. They run down. They're hapless. Ricochet tosses SlapJack onto them, then flips out of the ring onto them. Ricochet and SlapJack get back in. Dana Brooke comes around to Ali. She's looking for reckoning because she was attacked like a week or two ago. Slaps Ali. That allows SlapJack to get a roll up. He doesn't get the roll up, but he does get the win anyways with his cool looking new finisher. It looked great. Good for SlapJack. Good win there.
Good job. Good for Shane Thorne. He needed a win
for sure. Yeah, sucks that this is happening to Ricochet, but it's a feud. They're on Raw. They're on TV. Retribution's a big deal.
There's a story there. I mean, Ali's making the pitch to Ricochet to join Retribution. There's a story there for everybody involved.
There you go.
Main event stuff? No, but that's a story. Well, I mean, main event stuff in terms of show main event.
Event, yes.
But not the actual main event of Raw.
Wasn't like Jeff Hardy just on main event? Elias and Jeff Hardy in some manner?
There's a Miz TV segment on main event, I hear.
How great would it be if they just, somebody just took over main event and made it like the thing to watch? You know what I mean? There's been some good matches and stuff. They should just call it a different name.
I know. The stigma of main event. The show main event,
that's
not
the new name.
Main event.
The new name is the stigma of main event.
The stigma of main event. Ridding ourselves of the stigma of the show main event.
There you go. On the network exclusively.
Yeah, there you go. After that, Miz TV special guest Sheamus. Miz and Morrison try with some small talk about Thanksgiving. Sheamus just wants to get to the point.
Boy, they just talk so much, dude. I honestly have grown to hate these Miz TV segments. They just stop the show dead.
I know.
It just stops it cold.
I know. So Miz doesn't want to talk about Sheamus. He wants to talk about Drew, and Sheamus like, yeah, I know what's going on. And Miz just tries to stick a wedge between Sheamus and Drew, saying, Sheamus, you brought Drew his family chest from Scotland, and what did you get in return? Nothing. And Sheamus was like, I'm the type of person that I give the friend a gift. I don't expect anything in return. He and Drew go way back, so on and so forth. And then Miz says, well, like if I was WWE champion, I would, whenever I win it, I'm going to give Morrison the first crack at the title. How come Drew never did that to you if you guys were such good friends? Sheamus kind of laughs that off. And then Miz gets in his face talking about how he never had he hasn't had a title shot in about 5 years, calls Sheamus his career a joke. And that's when Sheamus takes off his jacket, says, Miz, you like to run your mouth. I like to use my hands. He starts beating up Miz and Morrison, and then Miz blasts Sheamus in the back with a Money in the Bank briefcase a few times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. After that, we had Asuka and Lana backstage, and they were sort of hyping each other up, and then Asuka goes out because they have a tag match against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, and Lana has a little mini interview, says Shayna and I are going to understand what it's like to be in there with Asuka. So then before the match actually starts, though, we get an interview with Shayna and Nia, and she says, Sarah, I think, says, how confident are you this is going to turn out different than last week when you guys ate the pin? Nia said, they got lucky. We made a rare mistake. And Shayna's like, hold on a second. I did my part. I was busy wrestling Asuka. You were busy not putting Lana through a table. And Nia's like, whoa, hold on a second. You were the one who got pinned. Anyway, she said, tonight, no mistakes. We're going to pin Asuka. We're going to put Lana through a table. That didn't quite happen because next up we had Asuka and Lana versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. And this time Lana got the pin on Shayna. There was a bit of a comedy of errors here. We had Lana. The commercial cliffhanger was great because it was stereo barricade bashes from Nia and Shayna. I really liked that. On the outside, Nia got Lana up to try to run her into the pole, I think, or to put her through a table or something. Lana countered.
Run into the pole,
Yeah, ran her into the pole, which allowed Asuka to take over in the ring, getting 2 on Shayna. She dodges the Shining Wizard. They both connect on a kick. Lana tags herself in, goes up top, hits crossbar, doesn't hit a crossbody. Baszler is able to roll through it, gets her back in the clutch, and then Asuka breaks that clutch up, allows Lana to get a pin on Shayna.
Yeah, breaks up the Shining Wizard.
Yeah. So there you go. That's 2 wins for the tag team of Asuka and Lana.
Yeah. After that, Sheamus in pain after getting beat up by the Money in the Bank briefcase. Drew walks in. He's laughing. Says it is pretty funny that he got beat up. Calls it must-see TV. Sheamus is like, yeah, you're right. It was kind of fun. He thanks Drew for helping him out. Says he would have done the same for him by not helping him. And Drew's like, hey, you're in the zone now. You're ready for our match. Sheamus calls Miz TV the appetizer, says match. And the main event will be the main course.
After that, we had Cedric Alexander versus Xavier Woods, but preceding that was a New Day promo. Talk about how the Hurt Business failed 3 times. They sort of did their little Wayne's World thing where they showed all 3 times they felt the Hurt Business failed. MVP and crew come out. He says, we're actually 2-2. He does 2-2. He does his own math. He talks about the botch that happened last week where they proclaimed Hurt Business the winners. So in his eyes, that makes him 2-2. This week we've got Cedric versus Xavier Woods in singles action. I loved Cedric's interaction with Xavier Woods prior to the bell. So good. It was so good. He was like, you're going to see what the Hurt in Hurt Business stands for. And I love as they were parting to back up into their corners, Xavier says, I thought Hurt stood for hurt. I thought that was pretty damn funny. And Cedric didn't, so because he rushed him at the bell and took control pretty easily. What did you make of this? So this is a really fun match. It's really good stuff.
Yeah.
So the finish went down like this. Cedric launches himself out for a suicide dive. Xavier Woods counters by just throwing him into the barricade. They get back in. Cedric's able to hit a lumbar check on Xavier Woods for the win. After the match, he goes up celebrating, just so good. Pumped full of bro energy, right? He's like, so good, man. I got this win. Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
And MVP and Shelton are in the ring like, what is he doing right now?
It's consistent with ever since Cedric has joined Hurt Business. He is the hothead of the group.
He is.
I love it.
Yeah.
The hothead.
He's a loose cannon.
He was overcome with such passion.
Yeah.
From getting that win that he just wanted to celebrate.
Yeah.
He had probably no idea where MVP and Shelton were. He just wanted to celebrate. Yeah. I love it.
Oh,
I think it's great.
I want to see.
Probably going to end up costing them the tag titles, but whatever.
Yeah. I want to see that really bite them in the ass because that's what's going to happen. I love it.
Probably.
I think it's so good, man.
It is good. It is good. Next, we have AJ and Jordan backstage. Riddle walks up to them. AJ's all, what do you want? Riddle talks about never being WWE champion. He says AJ has been. He lost it and hasn't been it since. Riddle says, AJ, you better hop out of the way because this is his carrot. And Jordan laughs. And AJ's like, what are you laughing at? And Jordan says, well, his rabbit is named Skipper. Of course, that's what Riddle has called AJ since Survivor Series, or the build to it. And Riddle goes, yeah, AJ, you remind me a lot of my rabbit. You can jump really high. You're pretty furry. List a couple other things. AJ is upset by that. Riddle goes off. And then he's like talking to Jordan, like, you talk to him all the time?
Hold on a second. Go lay down. You need to lay down. I got to keep one eye on my dog because she hates that cone and she took it off, or I took it off her rather. But
that's a huge difference.
As part of it, yeah, I took it off.
That's a pretty massive difference. She took it off, which is an impressive feat. You took it off.
She actually did take it off last night. Because I had inadvertently put it on too loosely.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how much of it was her using her non-existent opposable thumbs as it was her just like slipping out of it inadvertently. Yeah. But anyways, I sort of keep one eye on her because she's not supposed to pot her eye. So like I'm her new cone, which is just me paying attention to her. So
well, she still has old cone on, right?
No, she has no cone on right now.
Why don't you put the cone back on her?
Because on top of everything else, man, she got an ear hematoma. So her ear is like built up with like fluid now, and it hurts her. So I put the cone on her. It gets her ear. She's been like depressed all day. For the last like 2 days, she's been depressed because of all this stuff. This Saturday, I'm hoping it comes to an end. It's her next appointment. They can drain the ear, and hopefully the eye will be completely healed at that point.
All right.
She's just having a bad time, man. Anyways, after that, we had... after that was the actual match, right?
Yeah, Keith Lee versus AJ versus Riddle. Yeah.
This was
a fun match, man.
Absolutely terrific stuff. It was
a really strong showcase for Riddle. He was, when he was in control, It was basically he and Keith Lee would trade taking control of the match. Lee would be in control for a spell. Riddle would take control. AJ would try to get involved, but he'd be fended off by whomever was in control. But, he got the opportunistic pin. So Lee and Riddle are trading strikes. Riddle hits Keith Lee with a couple final flash knee strikes. Riddle turns around. AJ hits him with a phenomenal forearm to get the win. But this was all about showcasing Keith Lee and Riddle.
Yeah, absolutely. And AJ's the perfect guy to put them in there with to do that because this is just like dream match stuff written all over it.
That was a lot of fun.
After that, we had, if I'm not mistaken, I was kind of in and out. Miz and Morrison interview, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so Charlie says, your plan backfired trying to turn Drew against Sheamus against Drew. What's your strategy going into your tag match tonight? And Miz sort of rattles off, well, we've got a new number one contender, AJ Styles. Drew has a partner in Sheamus he can't trust, and I've got the Money in the Bank. So there you go. And Charlie's like, you just listed off a bunch of stuff. You didn't say what your strategy was. And they're like, oh, okay, so they go away. After that, we had Dana Brooke versus what I thought was Reckoning, but then her mask came falling off in the first 10 seconds. And
you realized it was Mia Yim.
I was shocked. It was just Mia Yim.
So Reckoning had a bit of a promo in advance of this match. Says Dana thinks she can take her frustrations out on Ali. When Retribution has a problem, they annihilate that problem. Dana, you are now my problem. And then bell rings 7.5 seconds later. Reckoning's mask fall off. It's Mia Yim.
And, man,
just get the masks off all of them.
Yeah, I know. I always look whenever they do a Retribution promo, Mustafa Ali, he's doing everything he can. He is.
He really
I always look at Dijak through that silly mask of his. You can still make out that goofy grin of his. I love it. I love him. I think he's so great. It's a shame that him and Mace are so who's more hapless? T-Bar and Mace or Miz and Morrison?
Well, T-Bar and Mace, they haven't won anything. That's the right answer.
They don't do anything.
Throw Reckoning in there. She lost to Dana Brooke. No disrespect to Dana Brooke. I know she's working really hard to improve. I like Dana Brooke a lot. But you have Reckoning, her first match.
Yeah.
In a stable that you would think they would want to get over.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is after Ali tries to distract here. So he tries to distract. Dana Brooke gets a really great looking roll up. It was one of those legit
she avoids a
roll-ups.
kick from Mia, Reckoning, rolls up Reckoning, it gets the win, and then Ali gets the ring and starts yelling at Mia Yim.
Yeah.
There's no failure in Retribution.
Au contraire.
If that's the philosophy, you need some new members.
Retribution is basically synonymous with failure at this point in the wrestling world.
Their mantra is failure at this point.
It is. Fail upwards.
You need to reevaluate things a bit there. If you're trying to hammer home that failure is not an option in Retribution.
This next bit was one of my favorite moments of the night. The Miz Morrison roll up to AJ and almost backstage. Miz and Morrison have brought AJ a peach pie.
Oh, it looked good.
It looked really good. I had some apple pie that my mother-in-law baked for Thanksgiving. We brought half of it home. Oh, god dang, man. With some decaf at night. Oh, it was amazing.
Coward. Drink the real stuff. My wife made an apple pie for Thanksgiving. It was really good.
Oh, it's so good.
Man, something about a fresh peach pie. Oh.
So, of course, they said, we brought you this peach pie because you were from Georgia.
It was a victory pie.
Victory pie. And they're basically saying, hey, man, can you help us cash in? AJ says, shockingly, kind of, okay, but it makes perfect sense. And they're like, wow, why? And he's like, because Miz, beating you is a lot easier than beating Drew McIntyre. So like, okay, fine. And they start to leave, and it's like, Morrison, wait, give me that pie. AJ's looking at it, he's like,
it's a huge pie.
Oh, yeah, look at this thing. Look at this. And almost says, that's not a pie. That's a cupcake. Because he's so huge. It looks like a cupcake to him.
It does. I like this next bit, too. So Riddle's backstage. MVP rolls up to him. And Riddle's talking about how much losing sucks. But he's like, hey, at least I got an opportunity, unlike Lashley, who lost his shot at a title opportunity because you cost him the match last week, MVP. And then MVP gets mad. Riddle starts talking about wanting to do his pitches. for his products and ideas. He goes on about a bunch of weird stuff.
So weird.
I can't make heads or tails of any of it.
It's like a landscaping company.
Yeah. And so, anyways, MVP breaks it down. He says, Riddle, I think you're dumb. And then Riddle tried to do the thing again. Didn't work as well as it did last week. Riddle, I think you're dumb. Your ideas are ridiculous, and I'm glad you lost. And he shoves him. Riddle steps up, and then Lashley comes in, puts Riddle in the Hurt Lock. So it looks like we're getting a Lashley and Riddle program.
I love it. I think it's great. After that, we had, if I'm not mistaken, it was Keith Lee sort of approaching Sheamus backstage, kind of giving him a little bit of a warning, saying, hey, man, got my eyes on you. Don't be turning on Drew. Sheamus is like, it's none of your business. Now I'm going to go out there and turn on my partner,
Turn on
fella.
my tag team partner, yeah.
After that, we had a Drew McIntyre interview. God bless him. Tries to make it out like he got the best of Roman Reigns here. He was like, I told Roman Reigns I'd humble him, and that's what I did. No, man. I'm sorry, but
I don't even understand the point of this promo.
Neither do I. I don't know, to kill time. I
like Drew. I think he's really good on the mic. There's really no point to this, though.
No.
It didn't advance anything.
No. He tried to talk. Honestly, it's best to just forget about the whole Survivor Series if you're Drew McIntyre. It really is.
I mean, it was a good match, and it wasn't like he got squashed by Roman. It took a low blow and a super kick from Jey Uso for him to lose.
He went in there,
but yes,
trying to
prove. If you're saying that you're going there and humble Roman Reigns, well, all Roman has to say is scoreboard.
Exactly. I'm sorry,
you won.
But Roman said you're the secondary champion. You lost,
and then he went out and won. He kind of proved his point. Did he cheat to do it? Yes,
but
sometimes maybe corners have to be cut to stay on top.
That's a tradition in pro wrestling and honestly life.
Sadly, life too. Yes.
So, anyways, yeah, I agree. I don't know what the point of this was either.
No point to it.
And then he was asked,
point to it.
how do you keep your focus on AJ Styles with the Miz there? And he says, yeah, the Miz or AJ Styles, that match at TLC will be phenomenal. He's just slowly turning into dad joke guy.
Yeah, because he said, get it.
Yeah, and then he says, and to the Miz, I'll put Morrison in the briefcase, and then I'll put it in Miz's butthole. Then let's have a match. So I don't know. I guess to kill time. I don't know. This match had all of 9 minutes going for it, though.
Yeah, they could have given this match more time. So it was Drew and Sheamus versus Miz and Morrison. AJ comes out in commentary. Drew and Sheamus are firmly in control until Sheamus, again, firmly in control, sees AJ in commentary. It just has like a flashback to Survivor Series.
Yeah.
And it just starts talking crap to AJ.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you're in control of this match. Just focus on what you're supposed to do.
Can't help himself.
So he goes down the floor. Miz tries to attack him from behind. Again, hapless. Sheamus decks him. Jordan steps up to Sheamus. And that allows Morrison to hit a drop kick on Sheamus, send him through over the announce table. Go to commercial, come back. Miz and Morrison, they are in control. They're in control for a bit until Drew gets in. He goes on a run, sets up for a Claymore. Sheamus is like, hey, let me finish Morrison off. He wants to hit a Brogue kick. Oh, sorry, Miz. So Drew goes over to tag him in. Morrison pulls Sheamus off the apron, tosses him over the barricade.
He ran him into the pole first.
Yeah.
It was the angle they had. It was kind of comical they did that.
Drew turns around. AJ hits with phenomenal form in full view of the referee.
Yeah.
DQ. And Miz and Morrison, they're apoplectic about this. They're upset. And then AJ's like, hey, Morrison, hit your finish. And Morrison's like, all right, fine. Hit Starship Pain.
Morrison sort of gets it. He sort of gets it.
A bit. Miz is like confused. He's like, why are... He
so
seemingly
confused.
forgot the whole pie thing, like 20 minutes prior. So Miz follows the skull-crushing finale. AJ's yelling at Jordan, bring me the briefcase. He does. He's handing it to the ref for the Miz to cash in. And Miz is like, give that to me.
Why are you doing that? Why? It's mine. I won that.
When to do this.
Why are you doing this?
I'll decide when to do this.
It was this if you, I mean, commentary, I think commentary was even trying to get across, what is Miz's problem? Is he afraid to cash in right now? Like, what is the deal? If not now, when? You have, like, AJ Styles, you have Almost, you've got Morrison. It's like there's no better situation at this point.
Probably not. But that delay allows Drew to come too. So finally, Miz is like, all right, I'll cash in now. So he's explaining it to the ref. He hands the briefcase over. Drew comes to. Morrison charges him. Drew backdrops Morrison out of the ring, and then Claymore's Miz before the bell can ring. And then this bit was great.
This was hilarious.
So AJ and Drew were kind of talking crap. And then AJ kind of flips himself over the top rope right onto Jordan's shoulder.
Yeah.
And so Jordan's holding him like this over his shoulder. And the whole time AJ's chirping at Drew and Drew's talking crap. And Jordan's carrying AJ to the foot of the ramp and finally puts him down there. The visual of that was really good, though.
It was great. He's like, oh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky right now. If he lets me go, if he lets me down, it's over for you. It's over for you.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
It was really, really funny, and it was really well done.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, the presence of Jordan, almost whatever, is great. I love him. I think he's terrific.
Yeah, I think the chemistry he and AJ have developed in a really short amount of time is pretty solid.
Oh, it's absolutely terrific. It really is. All right.
All right, so answer some questions. Wolverine 1591. If we get a King of the Ring tournament, Xavier Woods wins. Do you see Xavier turn heel on Kofi? No.
No.
2 days not going to turn on each other.
No, they're not going to turn on each other. Don't see that happening. What is this? Ryan Rubik's Cube says, here's a pitch for Raw being too long. Make Raw 2 hours, take one of its hours, move it to Tuesdays on USA, make that a televised version of main event with that lower card stuff to get its spotlight, a la Heat or Velocity back in the day. Same amount of content, easier length, USA gets 3 nights of wrestling. I would be miserable if that was the case, number one. Number two, they get so much more money out of 3 hours than they do 2.
Yeah.
So I don't think any of that's
who's to say you? I know Raw is like their top-rated program, but who's to say USA even wants another night of wrestling?
What's the pitch to USA? We're going to put another hour on of crappy stuff.
Yeah, of our lower card stuff.
USA would just say, you have main event. We would have bought that if we wanted it.
Exactly.
But keep sending in suggestions.
Yeah. O-Dog, is Randy going to RKO Bliss to get to the Fiend? Wouldn't surprise me.
That would not shock me at all. That would not shock me. Didn't he RKO Nia Jax? I think. Kenny T. In kayfabe, will Lana ever be a good wrestler?
I don't think she's a bad wrestler.
Well, in kayfabe, I think he means winning wrestler.
Sorry,
I mean, like
in kayfabe?
winning. Yeah, like she can handle her own. If this was any other wrestling company, that's where the story would go. I don't think that's where this story is going to go.
No, it's going to probably be a series of matches that she kind of accidentally wins.
Pretty much. That's where it's going to peak. It's already peaked, to be honest with you.
Yeah. EV would get the sub to Turo 561. Thank you very much. Pay it forward.
Because she ain't gonna win against Nia or Shayna legit. You know? Yeah. I mean, she could probably beat Reckoning at this point.
In a one-on-one contest.
In a one-on-one contest, she could probably beat Reckoning in kayfabe. Christian Womble, do you guys think Lee or Riddle will ever get to world champion status, or is number one contender their ceiling? I think Keith Lee for sure is world champion.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. Matt Riddle, it's possible. He could be the heir apparent to AJ Styles. And AJ had a long run.
I mean, if it was based exclusively on in-ring talent, Matt Riddle would be pretty high on the list. His character promo stuff, like, I know he knows who his character is. I don't know if WWE knows who his character is so much, because like the stream of consciousness, verbal diarrhea stuff he's doing tonight, I'm not sure really works. The out-of-the-ring stuff, I don't know if that's going to really affect things at all.
Dude, there's zero evidence that's affecting anything. I don't think he could have been any further ahead. I mean, I know that his quick start on SmackDown was maybe evidence that he might have been further ahead, but God, dude, he was in a triple threat with Keith Lee and AJ Styles tonight for number one contendership. I don't think that's affected much. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on his if the crowd. I think the crowd's always going to like Matt Riddle. I really do. Even I understand what you're saying. I kind of agree with you. I think there's a different tact you can take with him. But I think the crowd will be into it, and I think that in the ring, he's got, from my eyes, anyways, he's got every element of the pit bull that Vince McMahon so loves about AJ Styles, and it's not like AJ's character stuff has ever been over the top good. It's his in-ring stuff that's just over the top good. And Matt Riddle is Honestly, he's like one of my favorite in-ring wrestlers to watch.
Scooter says, did you see Xavier say, where are the other tag teams? Yeah, that was pretty fun.
That is funny. Blake Whitehouse, who do you think is going to be 2021's breakout star? He says his money is on Cedric if his current trajectory keeps up. Cedric has a bright star if his current trajectory keeps its course. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, I hope it does, because, man, I go back to his match against Kota Ibushi in the Cruiserweight Classic, and you can tell right then, man, this guy has it all.
Yeah, I agree.
That's still one of the best star-making performances I have ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely. I get the feeling... I just have a feeling that Ali's going to come out of this Retribution stuff as I think they'll figure it out. They'll figure something out for him. I really think so.
There's good stuff there.
I know.
There is really good stuff there. And they've kind of danced around it. They've mentioned it on kind of the secondary programming. Mm-hmm. But to really embrace and show why Retribution joined forces and really give them a proper manifesto on Raw has really yet to happen. Mm-hmm. Night by Night says, tonight, Drew referred to Miz and Morrison as Muppets. In WWE canon, Sheamus has been confirmed to be related to Beaker.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Which Muppets are Miz and Morrison related to? Those old guys up in the balcony.
Yeah.
Waldorf and...
Statler?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. David Matushik, who claims is the same person as Scooter here in our Twitch chat. I don't get this question. Sorry. Is it possible for this Raw? Sorry, Scooter. I don't understand the nature of this question. Maybe you ask us in chat something about food poisoning. Kenny T, if you had the chance to have one of these guys disband from their team for a massive singles push as a face, who would it be? Morrison, Shinsuke, or Cesaro?
Probably Cesaro.
It seems like it's about time. Like, when's the last time he had a face push?
It's been a while. I mean, the Bar were kind of faces for a while. They were tweeners.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant a singles push. He's been in great tag teams. Yeah.
I'm just saying, when's the last time Cesaro was, I just assumed as a face?
Sure.
As a singles, I don't know if he was ever a face as a singles.
No. I mean, when's the last time he's had a singles push?
Oh, crap! Before he was it was the best of 7 series against Sheamus, which of course led to a tag team. But
yeah,
that's really the last time.
The last time I felt like they thought he could run with the ball was his Intercontinental when they put him with Heyman. And that didn't last.
No. Mom Jeans can't wait for the Something to Wrestle Retribution episode in 2026 where Conrad says, "Chat me up, Bruce. Those masks had to be a rib with the guys in the back. Who would they piss off? What'd he say, Bruce?" And Bruce just defends them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Brandon Monroe. On Matt Chat, the possibility of a Randy Fiend Firefly Funhouse match was brought up. If that was to go ahead, would you have it at TLC or wait for a Big 4 pay-per-view to have it?
Oh, you wait for it. You wait for Rumble.
Definitely wait for that. Have some normal stuff with them and then have the blow-up be.
That.
Yeah.
EV gets a couple sub to FYT Demi Lovato and Snake Solid Mayor, something like that. Vash says, cheese on apple pie, yay or nay? I'm not a cheese person, so that's a hard nay for me.
I love cheese. Keep it away as far as possible from my apple pie. I don't want that anywhere near my apple pie. Although I do when Lacey sometimes will get like one of them like cheese and meat plates. I'll enjoy, it's funny because I will enjoy some like, cheddar cheese slices with like some apple slices.
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
Board. Yes.
But I don't like this, the sweet dessert of an apple pie.
It's a pretty popular combination, cheese on apple pie.
Yeah, I'm not into it. Can't do it.
Remember the first time I heard about that was in Taxi Driver, the movie.
Okay.
That's how Travis Bickle gets his apple pie.
Is it a New York thing? I don't know. I've never tried it. Maybe I'll try it. I just don't think I'm going to like it. Big Chris, could you guys see them having the Drew Sheamus story stretch out and it be Drew's storyline for Mania, or would you guys rather see them do it sooner?
Well, you got AJ for now. You got to assume Braun's gonna get back in the picture once he's healthy.
I would not assume that. But,
yeah, I guess not.
But no, I'll be honest with you. I really, really like the work that Sheamus has been doing lately. I really like this approach. Drew McIntyre, that title is not going to main event WrestleMania this year, or sorry, in 2021. That's not going to happen because you have, unless they do another title versus title thing with him and Roman, that's not going to happen. It's going to be either Roman Reigns or it's going to be Bayley Sasha, or if they bring in, obviously The Rock would be Roman, or if they bring in Ronda Rousey, or if Becky Lynch is back. It's one of those. Drew is like fourth on that list. So you could have him versus Sheamus if you have this long thing going on.
Yeah, that's a really good story, yeah.
At WrestleMania. You could totally do that.
Jorge D, power rank each of your top 5 pies. I know we've done this before, but I like talking about pies, so I don't mind doing it again.
All right.
Number 1, I'll just run through my 5 real quick. Pumpkin, really no particular order. Pumpkin, fresh peach, fresh strawberry, banana cream, and then I guess apple, but it has to be really hot. I only like apple pie if it's boiling hot. It just tastes way better when it's super hot.
I don't like mine boiling hot, but
that might be a bit of hyperbole, but I like it really hot.
Apple pie, I like it when it's hot. I like it hot, but that's why I put ice cream on it, because it melts the ice cream and it's just a wonderful.
It sounds like companion. A mess. I don't care for that particularly. I just want my surf at the sun hot apple pie. That's
fine. That's how I like it. I was speaking on my stuff. Banana cream, lemon meringue. What other pies do I like? Peach cobbler's good. I'm pretty good. No, that's good. I got 4. I got
really?
4. I had pumpkin. Pumpkin's my 5th.
Yeah, pumpkin pie's phenomenal.
Yeah, pumpkin's good.
Gary MacArthur, not a question, but thanks, Stephen Larson, for watching Ross. Well, I don't have to. There's a good hour and a half in there at least. Crossface Chicken Stain says, I honestly love the fact that Hurt Business has 3 stories going on. Cedric's ego trip, tag gold pursuit, Lashley versus Riddle. I know, it's great. They've been doing really good stuff with Hurt Business.
I love Hurt Business. I think they're fantastic. Dan Barber says, I wasn't a fan at the time, so I don't know, but despite me really enjoying the opening segment, how was the Wyatt compound Bray's weakness? Orton said that used to be his weakness. And that's why he burned it down. It was never really explicitly stated. I guess terribly. The point
it was the compound, and on the floor of the compound was where Sister Abigail was buried, correct?
Yeah. I guess the idea was Randy won their WrestleMania match because all Bray could bring to the table by that time was some slides of maggots and worms.
This is what I remember it being. It was Randy burned the compound down, and then did something to the gravesite of Sister Abigail, and then Bray says, I'm going to unleash my satanic powers upon you at WrestleMania, and that was projecting images on the ring.
Right.
And that was kind of the extent of it.
So I guess the idea was Bray was just bluffing about these satanic powers. All he had was a friend in the AV truck.
Totally. That was such a bad match.
It was so boring.
Such a terrible
It was
match.
so boring. It was so boring.
Bad. It's boring and bad.
It was bad, but it was also really boring.
Yeah.
But it was also really bad.
I could do bad if it's fun.
It wasn't fun.
No, it was boring and
nothing
bad.
About it was fun.
It was not a good match. The premise, bad.
God, it was so boring.
Execution, bad.
They would just stand around waiting for the stupid pictures to kick in.
It was terrible. It was terrible. That might be the low point of Bray Wyatt's career.
Yeah.
That was so bad.
Okay, is that the low point, or is jobbing out to The Rock? When The Rock wanted to work with Bray Wyatt and they sent Rowan over there
Well, technically, he didn't job to The Rock. Roman
No, but
did.
the Wyatt family were made to look like fools.
Yeah. Well, that was at 32. Yeah, it was a rough year for the Wyatt family, huh?
It was.
They realized she had Luke Harper in that Mania match.
Dog Authority figure. How much longer does Retribution last, and what would you do with the members afterwards?
I mean, I already feel like that Mustafa Ali was pretty much telling Mia Yim tonight, you're on the verge of getting kicked out.
Yeah, I want him to fire everybody. And then he changes his name to Retribute Sean.
That's good. That's good. Jeffrey Nerd, what do you guys think their plan is for Billie Kay? I don't think they know. I think they have a character idea. I don't think they have any idea where they're going to go with it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where she's just doing something kind of funny to keep her on TV until they figure it out.
It is funny. It's great.
She's terrific. She's so
hilarious.
terrific.
But they're not going to do anything with it.
The Rain Trigger. Great question here, Larson. I've been thinking about the pops when fans return, and I wonder, what are the biggest pops you can remember? The biggest pop we've ever been...
Oh, Seth cashing in.
Seth cashing in at 31. We were there live. That was like roof blowing. There was no roof.
That and the Hardy Boys coming back at Mania 33.
Yeah, that was pretty big. That was big. Boy, Seth was just... Because honestly, like, we had heard so many rumors about the Hardy Boys anyways. I was like, oh, okay, they're here.
Oh, yeah, I totally expect them to come back.
The pop was big, but Seth's was unexpected. That was like, whoa, holy crap. Sound the alarms.
It's not exactly a pop, but in terms of loudest reaction, it might have been Roman opening Raw after Mania 33.
Heat. Hot heat.
Yeah. In terms of a crowd I've never seen happier, it's probably when Nakamura won the NXT title.
Oh, yeah.
That place blew up, and then everybody leaving Barclays Center in Brooklyn was singing his theme, leaving the arena that night.
Yeah. Boy,
it was pretty off the charts.
It was almost religious, that experience.
Yep.
Alex Foster asks, what other situations outside of the ring caused Cedric to flip out like that? I think after a really solid sex session, when his precious bodily fluids have been relieved, he'll start walking around the house just, yeah, oh, I did that.
Maybe after a good poop.
What if he has like a really good sandwich? He just kills the sandwich.
Anything good that happens to him in his life, he just gets super hyped about it.
Yeah. His royalty checks come in, it's a little bit higher. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
I just did that.
Yeah, his merch checks come in. Shane's birthday tweet, do we see the Fiend no sell the punt? Hell yeah, man. No sells everything. See people do handstands to get out of the RKO. He eats RKO, just gets right back.
You have to appreciate Mia Yim no selling her mask coming off. She didn't even try to like go back for it.
No, the rest just kind of kicked it out of the ring.
He did, yeah. And she was just like, maybe they'll let me just wrestle like this now.
I know. Dang MQ, if there's a Firefly Funhouse match between Orton and Wyatt, would that be the match that brings Cena back into the WWE in kayfabe?
Dude, if they get... That's straight up Rawgate Mutants. That's Rawgate technology right there.
That would be.
Firefly Funhouse.
That'd be a way to do it, though.
Yeah, totally. That'd be good. You could totally tell that story. Night by Night says he plugs in a USB correctly on the first try. Yeah, I did it.
Man, there's still so many times I'm putting this thing in there. Like, why isn't this going in? Oh, it's the wrong way.
Yeah.
I
always do this. I aim to do the pullback flip immediately. I just go boom, and if it doesn't immediately go in, I go like this, boom, and then it goes in.
Yeah. Dr. Lipkin, if they keep this momentum going, could you see Bliss winning the Royal Rumble?
No, I think she's too involved in her own story. I think
I think it kind of depends what the Fiend's going to be doing at Mania 2.
Yeah. Gary MacArthur, what was Keith Lee's reaction to seeing Mia unmasked? I think in kayfabe he probably knows. I think he probably knows.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oops,
That's
sorry.
Go
ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that's all the questions I have on Patreon.
All right. Oops, sorry says, will WWE have Orton try and burn down the Firefly Funhouse completely, forgetting that Seth already did it? No. He's already burnt something down. He seems pretty certain what Bray's weakness is.
He's going to light Alexa on fire now.
Oh, gosh. White Brownie, as of right now, who's your favorite to win both the Royal Rumbles? Bailey for the Women's Royal Rumble.
The
Men's Royal Rumble, I don't know now. I don't know.
Yeah, a month ago you just said Big E.
Oh yeah, 100%. I would have said Big E.
And
if I had to choose somebody, it'd still be him.
My guess is this: Big E will get the Intercontinental Championship. Maybe even maybe not at the Rumble. I think he's going to have it at the. He's going to defend that at the Rumble, but he's not going to be in the Rumble. I think they're going to run with him as Intercontinental Champion for a bit. See how that goes. I think Bailey's going to win the Women's Rumble. On the men's side, there's nobody really obvious on SmackDown.
No, because you got to assume, unless otherwise, that it's going to be The Rock and Roman.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's got to be someone from Raw. I doubt they're going to have The Rock win the Rumble.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that.
It's got to be someone from Raw. So I guess Sheamus.
Yeah, that was my only thought.
Keith Lee.
Sheamus. Yeah, maybe Keith Lee. Maybe they do Drew Sheamus at the Rumble, and then Keith Lee wins the thing.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. Aleister Black.
Cool.
Yeah, right. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show. Twitch chat, stick around for a little bit. We'll hang out. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.